Edouard Franck, the finale of his piano trio in E major, written in 1835 from the Schweizer Clavier Trio. But we have a very much more contemporary group in the studio right now. You're in the Diamond Lane with me, Sarah Jo, here on Classic 107 in Winnipeg. Tonight and tomorrow night at the Palm Lounge, institutions of Winnipeg, the Ministers of Cool, at least a small contingent therefrom, are going to be playing, and you should come and check them out. I have in the studio right now Leonard and Don, sax, keys, vocals, and bass and vocals from the Ministers of Cool. Welcome to the Diamond Lane, friends. Get right nice and close to that mic. Say hey.
Good to be
Hello.
here.
Hey. Okay, so tell us a little bit about, because our listenership, we're mostly classical station. We got Jazz After 9. But tell us who you are and how you became what you are now.
Wow. Let's see. That goes back all the way to Prairie Theatre Exchange, where Greg Lowe got us on a gig where we were the house band. And
so who's Greg Lowe?
Greg Lowe is the originator of the Ministers of Cool.
Okay.
The leader.
He's the leader of the band.
And that was Godspell. And the Ministers were the band, the pit band, from the movie called Godspell.
Fantastic.
Or the movie and play, in this case.
And then
PTE.
And then somehow you maintained a relationship and continued making music together.
Well, then shortly thereafter, in the next season at PTE, Greg called us again and got Leonard on board, and we did a Joni Mitchell show called The River.
The music of Joni Mitchell was a fabulous show, which they mounted also in Vancouver and London, Ontario.
That's
right, with Greg as the musical director.
So each of you ministers are individually your own musicians. You all have your own things going on. Is that right?
Yes, and that's the biggest challenge we have as trying to be a band.
Finding time to work together.
So where do you spend your energies otherwise?
Go ahead.
Oh.
Well, I have my day job, if you will, is I play with a band called the Guess Who, a little band from Winnipeg that tours internationally, mostly in the U.S., doing casinos and fairs and festivals of that nature. Burton and Randy have not in the band anymore. The name is owned by the original members, Jim Cale on bass and Gary Peterson on drums. And I've been working with them since 1990, on and off. And Don...
I'm a music producer, freelance musician, engineer / composer /
Fantastic.
snow shoveler.
Well, when you're in Winnipeg, one must.
And
okay.
Trail clearer.
That's right. And actually, I am a cross-country ski trail groomer as well.
He's a groomer.
Ooh, yes. Fantastic. That sounds very exciting in the wintertime.
Don works with some children's entertainers as well.
Yeah, I do a lot of children's music. Jake Chenier, Fred Penner I've worked with, played with Al Simmons.
Nice.
And new music.
Yeah, everything and anything.
But he's produced a few artists like Farron.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff. I work with
quite a list.
Amazing.
Long list of people.
Well, let's hear a few tunes, or let's hear a tune. What are we going to hear right now? We're doing Josie?
I believe so.
So where did this come from? Where did this tune come from?
Well, this is a song from the band Steely Dan, and that is the focus of our work at the Palm Lounge tonight and tomorrow. We're going to be playing mostly the music of Steely Dan.
Fantastic.
Here's one track this track was recorded live with Greg Lowe on guitar and the two of us playing the wonderful song Josie.
At the Palm Lounge, in fact.
The Palm Lounge. It was recorded right in the Palm Lounge.
Okay, so, this is what audiences might hear this evening. The
Indeed.
Ministers of Cool. Leonard, John, and Greg, who unfortunately is not here, but we'll talk about that in just a moment. A little Steely Dan.
I guess, yeah.
Is this our denouement?
This is it.
That's all.
A little Steely Dan from the Ministers of Cool. Leonard, Don, and Greg, who's not here with us today, but he is often. You guys are going to have a sub tonight, though, at the Palm Lounge and tomorrow night. So tell us a little bit about your sub.
His name's Laurie McKenzie. He's a veteran.
Yes.
A veteran, really great guitar player, great vocalist, and he's fronted his own band back in the day. Laurie McKenzie and the Bandits. It was one of my fave bands back in the day.
Yeah, sweet.
And he's been working his literal butt off learning these tunes. Are really, really complex, especially for the guitar player. And Oh, I'm the piano player. I'm just glad you're not subbing my friend.
Well, we're lucky to find someone who is another Steely Dan lover.
Right.
Loves the music and wants to do the effort, put in the time to actually play the songs correctly.
It helps. And with something so complex, while we were listening to that tune, we were talking about how difficult putting together things like that are, especially without a drummer. I mean, the textures of Steely Dan, in terms of, how they write, it's very similar to classical music, how it evolves harmonically and rhythmically. So how does that offer you a challenge in that space, especially? It's so great. It's beautiful and small, but it's tough.
Well, everybody has to be on their rhythmic game together. When there's no drummer, there's nobody to rely on but yourself, which is the way it should be when you're playing at all times anyway.
Right.
But it really puts it to the challenge.
Yeah, without the drummer there laying down the rhythm, it's definitely more challenging to play these songs as a trio.
So let's talk about the rest of the ensemble as well, because Ministers of Cool, it's not just a three-piece, it's a much larger ensemble. So give us a little rundown.
Well, let's talk about Danielle Roy.
Yes, the drummer in the Ministers of Cool larger band has been Danielle Roy for a number of years, since I guess 2000 maybe.
Yeah.
And Danielle, of course, has got his own career as a francophone artist, writer, and a singer. Mm-hmm. He plays drums. He also plays stringed instruments and is a advanced singer, and I think he has 2 albums out now.
Yeah.
Both of which I think you've been involved recording, haven't you?
I was involved in both. I'd recorded the second one and helped him a bit on the first one.
Yeah, so he's a star, a vedette.
A vedette. There you go. Yeah.
And one of the other founding members of the band is Jerry Atwell, keyboard player around town, man about town, a larger-than-life personality who usually does some rapping as well as singing, and seems to be our agent representative. So,
well, he's such a charismatic diplomat.
He certainly is.
So why
Wonderful
not?
Man.
Yeah.
Wonderful man.
Yeah.
And filling out the lineup is a man named Paul McNair, who has probably one of the highest ranges for a male tenor in the city. Yeah. So he's got a great voice and also plays guitar, bass, keyboards. But he came in he's been working with Jerry from a band called Boogie Nights from the 80s. We were talking about the 80s. And that's where they connected. And Paul's another very talented guy. He fronts a band called Journey, the Ultimate Escape tribute band.
Cool.
It's called, and they do the music of Journey as well. He plays bass in Harlequin.
Wow.
So he's a busy boy.
No kidding.
Musically as well.
But y'all just managed to get together in Winnipeg to play a couple shows at the Palm Lounge, treat Winnipeg audiences to some magic.
That's because there's only 3 involved. When
That's
we have
why.
to get 6 involved, then
Almost impossible.
It's almost impossible.
When you have so many epically busy people, that's indicative of a really great ensemble. You'd better be busy than bored, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Tonight and tomorrow night at the Palm Lounge, the mini Ministers of Cool in trio playing the music of Steely Dan. Oh man, I might have to stop by after the symphony tonight. I'm going to go see some Brahms and Bartok, and then maybe I'll head on over.
Nice evening.
Fantastic. Okay, let's play another tune. We got a little Bad Sneakers, so tell us what this is from. This is
also recorded live at the Palm Lounge by the trio, featuring Greg Lowe, Don Benedictson, and Leonard Shaw.
Fantastic. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Come back anytime. We'll try and catch you tonight at the Palm Lounge. Enjoy the play, and
Pleasure to meet you.
Anytime.
It's a beautiful room.
Take care.